What's up, everybody? John McClain here, and if you are a fan of Vortex and have any of their glass products on any of your platforms, make sure you hit that subscribe button. One thing you'll learn is that I am a huge fan of Vortex, and you'll see a lot of stuff that I do based around their optics, their glass, their binoculars, spotting scopes, all that. So if you're a fan, congratulations, I'm a fan too, and we should be fans together, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today we are talking about the brand new Defender ST Red Dot from Vortex Optics. Now, packaging. For me, I love packaging to look nice, clean, professional, like the company cares. But it's not just because I like to have things that look nice or anything like that. Let me explain what I mean. When you first open this product, you're going to get a card. The card says, passed inspected by, in this case, Ben inspected mine. So, Ben, thank you very much for sending me out the Defender ST after you have approved the inspection. I look forward to beating the crap out of it. Now, when you open it, I mean, just look how nice that presentation looks, right? It's not just saying that the company actually cares about the way the product looks and your first impression, all that kind of stuff. But when you look at packaging like this, what this tells me is that this dot is where it was originally placed when it left the factory. So no matter how many hands this box swapped, whether or not it was from shipping to airplanes, to boats, to trucks, back to your house or anything like that, the dot didn't move. That means it's not getting banged around. It's not loose or anything like that. I mean, that just says that this dot should be in as good a condition as it was when it left the factory in the hands that actually gave a damn about it, because we all know how the mail service and the flight attendants, I mean, all of my luggage is all scratch-free because they never throw my stuff around. So, of course, once we remove the dot, we've got the dot cover on it. You've got the red dot optic housing, and it has the rail attachment on there already, as most of their dots normally do. That's easily removed with a torque wrench. That is rough rundown of the dot. Well, I guess I can show you this. Okay, so on the front, you've got the texturing. That's so you can use it on your pants, shoes, sleeves, walls, the attacker's face. If you have to rack your slide and for some reason your other hand is incapacitated, whether or not it's holding a child or it's been injured or, you know, it's holding someone back, fighting someone off, you've got some texturing on there so that this optic can gain some traction if you're having to rack the slide without the use of your other hand. From there, we've got our up button on one side, down button on the other side. You also have your windage, elevation adjustments there. And the adjustments for this, one click equals 1 MOA. All right, and then, of course, we've got our beautifully coated front glass. I mean, man, that looks pretty. You know, whoever you're having to use this against, at least they'll get a nice last image. Okay, from there, underneath this handy-dandy QR code, we open it up, and look at that. We've got some instructions. And then we have all sorts of screws, and we do have a battery, right? They include a battery, so you can start playing right away. That's always a huge benefit. So we've got these other screws. Now, something I noticed about these is that the packages are actually labeled with the firearms that you would use this particular screw pattern for. So M4.07. It's going to be for Canik TP9 SFX, or the TP9 SC, SIG 320 M1718 or RXP, and then a CZP10 series. Like, I like that because that doesn't mean, or that means I don't have to try and go finding around which thread pattern it was I supposed to use and what kind of length do I need, because this red dot housing goes like this, but then the MOS plate or the plate adapter is this thick, and so many times I've got done screwing it in just to find that it's still loose because the screw bottomed out before actually putting any pressure on the red dot. It's just a giant pain in the butt. But I don't have to worry about that with this. Other thing I noticed is that they include a Glock MOS plate adapter. Listen, I'm going to tell you why I like this in the package so much. You know, I sent a Glock 34 MOS off to Terran Tactical Innovations 22 months ago. I just received it last night. And it had a Vortex Viper red dot on it, which, don't get me wrong, I like that optic. The one thing I didn't like about it is that to change the battery, you have to completely remove the optic because it sits against the gun, and then that's what pushes the battery up into the housing, right? Well, I've got this badass sight. I figured let's put this badass sight on my badass Combat Master. I couldn't find my MOS plates to save my life. So Vortex, you saved me. Thank you so much for including that. That is just something that makes sense. From there, we have a wrench. Now, this wrench is different from the CCW wrench, and I'm going to show you how. On the key side, as I like to call it, because it looks like a skeleton key or something like that. Obviously, you've got your torque wrench here on the top, but on the back side, you know what this reminds me of? It's like a gaffy stick from Star Wars, right? Look at that. Anyway, you'll notice that it is curved on the end, and that is because the housing sits a little bit deeper back over the battery cover. I don't know if there you go, you can see that. So to come straight down at it, you can't do it. So you've got that little hook so you can slide it in there and then screw it on and off. So again, at least you have the tool in order to get the job done. Got any of them Defender STs? Now, let's talk a little bit more about the dot. First thing to note, 12 brightness settings. 10 of them are meant for daylight, and 2 of them are meant for those guys that have a lot of money and have night vision. I am not one of them, so I have a dot with 10 different brightness settings. Runtime, if you have it set to 6, battery life is around 25,000 hours. It's pretty decent. Very decent. I'm a huge fan of that. It's because I don't like changing out batteries that often. Not because I don't like it, mostly because I just forget. Because, I've got the memory of a goldfish. So 25,000 hours is great for the brightness setting of it being at 6. However, that is if you were to leave it on. So with the auto shut off, which is 10 minutes, the dot will shut itself off with no activity. That number increases exponentially. I think it gets into like the 100,000 hour range. Okay. The other thing to note is that it does have the auto wake up feature. So as soon as you move the firearm, it will return to whatever brightness setting it was at previously before it shut itself off. So that's nice to know. If you would like to shut that feature off, all you have to do is manually power down the dot by pressing and holding the down button on the dot until it disappears. What that will do is completely and utterly turn this red dot off, including the auto wake up feature. So if you want this dot to come back on when you move the gun, don't manually turn it off. Just let it do its thing. 10 minutes, it'll shut off on its own. Okay? Okay. Battery life also doesn't seem to matter whether or not it's a 3 MOA or a 6 MOA dot, so do keep that in mind as well. Doesn't matter. You should be good to go. Now, the maximum elevation adjustments on this dot, I believe, is 115 MOA, and the maximum windage adjustments that you can do is around 145 MOA. That's quite a bit, so you shouldn't have any problems with this thing having to be adjusted. You should be able to get it figured out pretty decently. Now, we discussed what holding the down button does. Do you remember what it does? That's right, it shuts it down completely and turns the auto wake up feature off. What about the up button? What happens if I hold that down though? You win a brand new car. Nah, it can't be that. When you hold the up feature, you will activate the button lockdown. Now, what that means is that once you have your setting, or your brightness setting put to where you want it to be, whether or not it means you're getting ready to go to bed, that's why you've got it kind of low, or you work the day shift and you want it very high, so you have it very high. By pushing and holding the up button down for about 3 seconds, you'll see the dot blink. That means the buttons are now locked out. What that means for you is that no matter how many times you push the up or down button accidentally, the brightness setting will stay where it needs to be. Meaning, if your job entitles or requires you to carry your firearm with you, and you're getting in and out of vehicles all the time, whether or not you're military, law enforcement, security, private contractor, whatever, that means you can activate the button lockout, and no matter how many times this thing accidentally hits your seatbelt or the door frame or some bad guy's face, the dot's going to stay at the same brightness setting that it was set at when you set it. So, pretty cool little feature. And of course, the last thing I got to talk about with Vortex is the fact that their warranty is absolutely one of the best, in the business, if not the best. The customer service, the people at the company are one of the reasons why I'm so proud and happy to be a part of the Vortex family, is because I know that if I do have a problem with the product, which is not common, it's going to be taken care of. It's going to be taken care of in a way that if you buy your first Vortex product and you have a bad experience with the product itself, it breaks, it cracks, it doesn't work or anything like that, right? That's a bad experience. If you contact the company and you let them know you're having a bad experience, and they do what they do, which is they understand the frustration. They're sorry that it happened because they don't like to see their customers having issues with their products, and they immediately take care of it. Like, sorry you're having that issue. Here's a brand new one. Yeah, no question. But that's going to leave you with a very good impression of feeling like you're going to get taken care of by this company because you're their customer. And you can essentially turn a bad experience into a lifelong customer if your customer service is that good. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're buying 5 dots and 5 of them fail, crack, break, and all that kind of stuff, you start questioning brand quality. But I can tell you, I've beat the crap out of a lot of Vortex optic products. I think I've only had to send like 2 or 3 back. And I mean, by beat the crap out of, I mean, I throw them in buckets, I throw them on the ground, they fall on the ground, and then, just swapping batteries and all that. I mean, look, I've used these products a lot, and I've had very, very few, if not any, issues with some of them. Just fantastic. Okay, so don't forget that when you're buying a Vortex Optics product, you are covered by the company. They want to take care of you. They want to make sure that you are happy with the product that you purchased from them, and they will do whatever they can to make sure that you stay happy with it. So keep that in mind anytime you think about buying a product from Vortex Optics. You can buy it with confidence, knowing that you are taken care of. And with that being said, I think I'll just leave it at that. Guys, this was the review, the unboxing, initial impression, whatever the hell you want to call it, for the Vortex Defender ST Red Dot. This particular model is a 6 MOA, not 6 MOS, 6 MOA dot, but we do have a 3 MOA dot available as well. If you need any more information about that, go check out www.vortexoptics.com. In the meantime, I am John McClain with FPS Outdoors. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when I'm dropping new videos, such as the range day session with this dot. And when I do that range day session, I'm actually going to be using a firearm that is an old gun with a new facelift. So what do you think it is? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I'm John McClain with FPS Outdoors. Thanks for watching.